Yo, yo. How goes it? How goes it? How is everyone doing this evening? I'm gonna change things up tonight. I feel like changing things up tonight. I think I'm gonna introduce myself as who I am so we can get the record straight. I was thinking about it today when I was at work. I'm like, everyone always asks me what to call me. And I'm called all different things. Most people call me cardboard. Uh, I got some people from the original team calls me V, because in my Discord I call myself V35 guy, so they just hit me V for short. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and set the record straight so we can go ahead and be done with all this. Now, you're more than welcome to call me whatever is more comfortable for you, but I think I'm gonna start introducing myself from the cardboard sim side. This is your captain speaking, Robbie. There you go. And I will put my name as it's spelled in the chat. That way, y'all know how to spell my name. Because one thing that makes me cringe is when people spell my name with an Y instead of an IE. It's a long story, but for those of you who know, you'll understand. But yeah, Robbie is my name. Cardboard Sim is my game. And we're going to make it do what it do tonight out here in Kenya. So this flight came from... What is that noise? Hey, Amir. Hey, I'm glad you popped in. I'm almost done with that video. I still got a couple more things to edit. The hardest part was trying to figure out how to get the coding into the video. And I don't know why I struggle with that. It's probably something simple. Maybe I'm just so tired by the end of the day I can't think of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through the steps in Air Manager in the video, and then if you're not in my Discord, which I think you are, I'm going to have the codes. I'm going to create, which I'll probably do that tonight after this stream. I'm going to create an Air Manager tips and trick tab or something like that. And then you can just go in there, snag the codes, or the Louis scripts, I guess you can say, and just plug it right on into your sim. And there's gonna be two different ones. Yeah, okay, cool. So there's gonna be two different ones. One is gonna be for the overlay for your avionics master, and then the other one is gonna be for it'll be connected to your battery, right? So I think in your setup you run the G1000, so you'll at least need what do you use for your engine man? I can't remember what you use for your engine management. But I'm pretty sure that would need to be with power, battery power. So, and I'll have them labeled. So, like I said, you just take those, drag and drop into your files, and you can create them. Make your clones. Well, you'll see it in the video once I'm done editing. So, if I don't look for it this weekend, I'll just say that I don't want to say look for it tomorrow. I'm gonna try to push through and maybe try to get it out tonight. But if not, definitely sometime this weekend it'll be up and running for you. Okay. I think I hope Travis comes in because he wanted this flight. Maybe he'll pop in. We'll see. We'll go ahead and get this thing started though. So pre-flight is complete. Seatbelts are fastened. No packs on board. All avionics is off. Circuit breakers are all in. The landing gear is down. Flaps are up. Cowl flap is open. Lights as required. Fuel selector. Alternator battery. Fullest tank and battery. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what it is. So my JPI is set to my battery switch, as you can see. And originally when I showed that first video with that, I had it all off. But then my good buddy told me, yeah, you should not do that, because how do you know what's what's going on with your engine? So I'm like, right on. So I reverted back to power on with that one. So let's prime the pump. And let's get her cranked up. Let's get some air going on in here. Oh, feels good, feels good, feels good. All right. Let me check something real quick. Let me get this up and running. Yep. Oh. Okay. There we go. All right. We are in. Yo, how goes the jack?
What's up?
It's cool. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, just kind of load in. Didn't even realize the stuff was a little Navigaph.
Yeah. And I have to use little Navmap anyway to get it to convert over to the GFP files that the TDS GTNs run. Hey,
When you start up and follow you.
alright, sounds like a plan. Amir, I can't remember, do you fly FS2020 or do you fly X-Plane? I can't remember. Alright, taxi lights. Guess we could use... Hey, Nate, how you doing? Nice. Where you land at tonight? Okay. Wait, hold on 1 second. We are having, looks like we are having frame gen issues on this one, so let's turn that off real quick. Sometimes frame gen works, sometimes frame gen doesn't. It's weird. San Diego to St. Monica, nice. And I currently flying a real C2. Oh wow, that's what's up, Amir. I'll get there eventually. Let's see. Look like we'll take looks like 17 will be our runway of choice there. They gotta be blocked in here. Somebody's gonna get wiped out. Ooh, can I slide through here? Let's see. Ooh. Woo. That was close. Yeah, that 210 is nice, man. see here. Well, winds are favoring 17, so I guess we can go back taxi 17.
Roger that.
I spent a little bit in Kenya, I must say. Most of the time when I flew to Kenya, I was either in Nairobi or Mombasa, which both of them are beautiful places. Yeah, Amir, I'm still working on 24. It's my. I mean, for some people, it seems to be working fine, but my setup is just not happy with it right now. So I'm gonna still mess with it here and there when I can, but we're not 24 ready yet.
By the time Simon Day 3 comes around, be a little better.
Yeah, I hope so, cause I mean, everybody's saying that. Well, I mean, I could tell like the little bit of flight time I can get with it without any crazy issues. It seems to be doing better, but like I said, the minute I start adding everything else onto it, like if I just crank it up and just add, you know, the basics like mobiflight and just fly around, she's fine. But the minute I start adding the GTNs and all this other stuff, she starts wigging out on me.
Like the add-on.
Yeah, so we're gonna keep it 2020 for the time being. Even she has attitudes every once in a while like she is right now. Alright, we're gonna do a full flap takeoff. You ready?
Go for it.
Let's ride. Center line here. Gears coming up. We are on our way. I don't have my Navigraph up and running. I forgot to charge the tablet. So I think from where we're at, I don't think we don't need to go too high. I mean, clouds look a little, ceiling is a little low. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Uh-oh. You don't like that? You didn't like that. Let's go nav. Alright, cool. So we are at 2000. Altimeter is 29901. Let me get back on track here. It was crazy, Amir. So I was having an issue with the setup I had as far as the blackout with all the screens. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out where are we going.
I don't know. It's all you.
Hold on. Sorry about that. My thing is wigging out. I had went to I put it to nav mode, and for some odd reason I think it got hung up, so it's trying to find itself. Got lost in the sauce.
Alright, so we're heading back south.
Yeah, bring it back around. Oh no. Oh, I see what's going on here.
Traffic.
Hey, Plane, how you doing? Oh, stop. You're tripping. Alright, let's go back down to 2000. And let's go nav. Alright, yeah, so what happened was, for some odd reason, the GTN decided to load itself back into where we took off at. And so it was trying to turn around.
Oh, okay.
We're back on track, so we should be going to user 547 now. How was your day? My day was good, man. It was a beautiful day. It was hot but very breezy, so it made for a good day of work. AN 124 landed in Myrtle Beach today. Why are they in Myrtle Beach? That's crazy. I know it's Bike Fest this weekend.
See if I can share this flight.
Go right ahead. Look like he has it set up to do an out and back pretty much, so 2 points and then back. I think he said something like this was the flight he actually did for his cross country, I want to say, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay.
So that's why he wanted to do it in the sim. I don't know what happened to him though. I know I can't stay up too late tonight though. I got a full day tomorrow. Takes off to Columbia. I'm trying to figure out why it's in Myrtle Beach though. That's my question. Why are you here? So we're moving right along. Oh, I know what I was saying. Back to Amir. I'm sorry. I get sidetracked sometimes. You gotta excuse me. I got a million things going on in my head. So so one of the biggest problems that I was having in the beginning, and I'm still having a problem with one. So I don't know if it's going to be aircraft dependent on this situation. I was able to fix one of the problems that I was having. So the first problem that I had and I resolved, thank God Air Manager actually has this set up to where I can do it. But originally the overlays worked fine as advertised. But what was happening was the transparent panel was masking the touch functions on the GTN, and for the life of me I couldn't figure out why it was doing that. So I would reset. I'm like, I would turn the GTNs on, or I fire them up, I had touch functions. Then as soon as I turn on Air Manager, I'm like, okay, the blackout works like it's supposed to. And then as soon as I turn on avionics, black screen goes away. Now I don't have no touch functions. And I was sitting up with Dragon, and we was talking about it and trying to figure out how to go around that, and got to reading some stuff, and there's a setting inside Air Manager that I had to click on to fix that. So now that works. Now the problem that I'm having right now is, and it's not an Air Manager, it's not a overlay issue, it's an aircraft specific issue. Hey, the Blue Angels, how goes it? Which one? Who I'm talking for? Am I talking to number 4 or number 2? No. So right now I'm just running 4. Okay. How's it going tonight, my man? How you doing? No, Amir. I got it running Wi-Fi. So when I plug it into the PC, it works fine, but the battery sucks itself to death for whatever reason, and I have it plugged into a fast charging port, but for some odd reason it still doesn't work. So I'm running Wi-Fi, which Wi-Fi is fine. As far as the touch functions go, it, like I said, I got it all sorted. It was just something. It was a setting inside of Air Manager that I need to click on to get that to work, but it works fine now. So now I have touch functions. That's fine. The issue I'm running into now is Coronado, this specific aircraft, and I think with pretty much all of their aircraft, they've encrypted their aircraft so hard, and what they've done is they've set an auto avionics on when the motor turns on. And so I have to beat the system to turn on before it turns on itself, because if not, it throws the immersion off. So if I crank it up and I don't touch my avionics is automatically going to come on. And then I have to turn it on, turn it off for it to work, and then turn it back on. You know what I'm saying? So I've been working on different things to try to get around that. I haven't quite figured it out yet. So I don't know if the aircraft that you fly in the sim does that. If it does, then you'll probably run into the same issue as me. But if not, then you have nothing to worry about, and it'll run flawless for you. Tomorrow I have a United Airlines A319 come in tomorrow. That's pretty cool. I saw well, here at my terminal it's all regional jets, so I get a bunch of Lears in and out. That's pretty much, for the most part, what comes in and out of Ellis. It's a little bumpy here at 2000. And then it sucks too. We got a 28 knot headwind. Jeez. I'm gonna climb up. think I'm gonna go to 4.
Yeah, went up to 2.5.
2.5. What's
If you
wind?
went up to 4, I'll go up to 4. It's still bad.
Okay, I just want to see if winds calm down a little higher, because 26 knots to the face is horrible right now.
There's 29 at 2.5.
Jeez. Y'all done any air shows lately for? Or y'all just be practicing still? Do y'all ever do like head-to-head shows with like I don't know, is there a such thing as like a what is it? The Thunderbirds or the Firebird? The Thunderbirds? Firebirds. Thunderbirds. Yeah. I should know it since they're actually technically Air Force, but I never really liked them, to be honest with you. I think their shows was always garbage. I feel like the Blue Angels is always #1 when it comes to air shows. There's an Allegiant 737 MAX 8 coming and a 737 United Airlines again. And Myrtle Beach is pretty busy tonight. Yeah, there's a Thunderbirds team we collaborate with from time to time. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's cool. Yeah, I've always loved the Blue Angels, man. They've always put on a show. Even from I remember from all the way back when I was little, and we would go to Cherry Point and watch the shows, and the Blue Angels always showed up and showed out. Well, I can definitely tell you for that from the other night, I mean, man, I've probably gone back and watched that stream, I say at least 10 times, because I was so amazed at how well and like the precision that you and 2 had. I never seen nothing like it. And I think it just make it more interesting because, you know, you're talking about people from all over the world flying on a network, and the fact that the system itself managed to hold it to that level, you know, that was just crazy. Funny enough, R2 is brand new. We can't wait for him to be fully implemented. Wow. So either that was luck or he really about that life too, cause he showed he did his thing.
Yeah, winds up here even worse, like 33 knots.
Yeah, I'm 35 on the nose right now. Gosh, where are these winds coming from? Well, I guess it makes sense. It's coming off that. Well, I guess there's really nothing we can do. You want to drop back down again? I mean,
Yeah.
or we just hang out. I mean, it's not that long of a flight.
Just hang out up here.
Yeah, I'll just hang out at 4. I got enough fuel on board. Oh, Amir, man. Oh, you didn't see the so the Blue Angels. So who I'm talking to now? So 4. He was one of the 2 that popped in on one of my streams, man. I can't. Where were we at anyway? We was down in Mexico somewhere, and you know we was all just hanging out doing what we normally do. Hey, Larry, how you doing, man? And so we're just flying along, and Jose was like, "Hey, we got a couple F-18s out here," and you know I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm like, okay, you know, just some guys out here hanging out, cool. The next thing I know, they pull up on my left and my right. And man, it was pretty much all she wrote after that, man. They hung out with us for the rest of the night. And we landed, and then we all, parked down at FBO, and they literally gave us a show. Like, it's all on the stream, man. But I mean, they was doing, formations and doing, the flybys, and I mean, as if it was a real air show. And I'm telling you, when I say you would think it was like the real deal, these boys, they was handling the business. You wouldn't even think for a second that it was a sim. That's how, I mean, you're talking like close proximity, perfect formation into turns, and oh man, it's cool. So yeah, go check that out, man, if you haven't. And then what's even more crazy is they somehow managed to get me to try to fly F-18. So I actually loaded into an F-18 myself and flew it in the sim, and I didn't do too bad. I landed. I think it was okay landing. I mean, I'm pretty sure it wasn't like the best, but I managed to land it. When was the stream? When did we do that stream? Let me go back. This was on this stream 4 days ago. So it'll be flying with SSE flyers with extra credits. So 1, 2, 3 streams ago. And it was pretty cool, man. So we're trying to coordinate we would love to have some collab with you soon. Maybe you fly in for a practice during your stream. Yeah, for sure, man. I'm up for it. Oh, you saw it, Larry? That was, yeah, man. That was a wild stream. I mean, what was a chill flight? I mean, it literally turned into a whole adventure. Like, when it got done, I shut down. I'm sitting in the sim like, what just happened? that was crazy. But it was fun though, man. We had a good time. They didn't even have to go to the desert to fly 'em. Right. It was wow, man. Yeah. Bravo to them. Sent the stream to the rest of the team and they loved it. Oh, that's what's up for. I'm glad they liked it. Yeah, we definitely have to do some more collabs, man. We have to figure out how to do a SSE flyer to the blue squad. Maybe we try to do a show for y'all or something. I don't know. Come by, do some low levels, and let's see if we could maybe we can put together a flyby for y'all. A nice formation. I think we could do it. I think me, Jack, Jose, who else we got? We need 2 more members. I gotta think about it.
We're doing a GA air show.
Yeah, we're thinking about doing like a 5-man like formation like the Blue Angels, and we'll do a collaboration. So like they'll do an air show for us, and then we'll do an air show for them.
Oh, talking about that, we probably think about doing a flying to Oshkosh.
Oh, where you hear that at? Because I want to be a part of that. I've been wanting to get on one of those for the longest. I know Vatsim does one, but what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think it's normally like a week or 2 before the actual
real world Oshkosh.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I would have to be on vatsim for that though.
yeah, that's fine. I need to go ahead and print out my paperwork and start practicing that, just so I'm not looking crazy. Cause I've watched plenty of videos on YouTube where them guys are going in, and it looked like it can get hectic. And I've read through some forums, even on the vatsim Oshkosh for flight sim. It gets crazy. Like a lot of people actually fly that. That could be your next adventure, Blue Angel 7. I'll have to, you know, I don't have no more room to build no more sims, y'all. Look, I am maxed to capacity. The next place I live, I'm gonna make sure I have enough room to accommodate at least 3.
Gotta start growing that empire, man.
Say that again.
I was saying you gotta start growing that empire to get the 3, 4.
Yeah. Well, the 3 that I will have, cause I definitely want. I would probably build me a DCS sim. But then my thing is, do I really want a DCS sim? Like, do I really want a fighter aircraft to fly, or do I build me like a 130, since I know how to fly those? That was like flying a J model 130 is easy peasy.
Have that in DCS?
I think they do have 130 in DCS. I've never played DCS, so I don't really know much about it. But I would assume they would have a 130, and like you can do like, you know, operations. You know, like you fly, you drop cargo, and then your boys come in and drop bombs and stuff. I don't know. I would think it would have something like that. I would hope that that would be cool. I went to an air show one time. I saw 130 and I saw Blue Angels flying across. 3 is too much. Don't ask me how I know. Hey, well, Larry, honestly, 3 wouldn't be too bad. Like I said, it would be a setup where, you know, I would have my GA aircraft, and then I would probably build me a private jet style, like maybe a Lear or you know, a Citation, or shoot, I might even go King Air style, you know, something like that. And then I really don't want to do an airliner. It's just too much, you know. I'm just not in the mood to build something that massive. So that's why I was saying, like, maybe, well, I mean, a 130 is massive, but a 130 has not as nearly the amount of switches that a 737 or Airbus have. You know, it's pretty basic. It's just.
I wanna hear you explain to the wife why you're calling a 747 cockpit attention to the house.
Well, you know, to be honest, as long as everything is taken care of in the house, what I do back on the back side of the house in my man cave or shed or whatever I have, she'll probably just give me that, you know, the squirrely eye look and be like, whatever, I'm going back in the house. Just curious, why do you stream on YouTube instead of Twitch? That's a good question. I don't know. I just started off on YouTube and I just rock with YouTube. I've had people ask me the same question. I don't know. I just never really hopped over on Twitch. I guess I should give it a chance, huh? You're probably about the 4th or 5th person that asked me about that.
Oh, the switching back here or we're landing?
Oh, I'm just flying over. Did you want to land? We can go down if you want. We can do a touch go.
No, I'm good. already, we're already past it, so just hide by.
Yeah. Well, you gonna stop? Is this next waypoint?
Yeah, because it's gonna do a UE, head back up.
Do you want to? Is that just a UE that we have, or is that actually a?
It's a waypoint, but it's gonna turn back.
It's just gonna turn back. Yeah, I see it. You heard about the 777X being released? No, I haven't been able to keep up too much in the aviation community like that. Plane work has got me tied up for most of the day, and then it's taking care of the kiddos in the evening, and then, you know, when I have the energy, I can hop in here and stream with you guys. But I'll probably do some catching up on it this weekend. GA and something military would be cool. You know, if I were to do military, Larry, it would probably end up being more than likely a 130. I don't know. I mean, if I were to do a jet, right? This would be my ideal setup. It would probably, cause see, I know I can get crazy, right? I know I can get crazy. So here's my thoughts on a jet. I can go about it two ways. There's a cheaper route, and then there's an all-out crazy route, right? So the cheaper route for me would be, you know, build a cockpit, and then I'll probably end up doing like blue or like 4 of them. You know, build a cockpit and do a VR setup. You know, that would be the more simplistic form of doing a jet. But then the other side of me, takes it to a whole nother extreme, and is actually building a shell, of course, and actually wrapping myself around with a gargantuan amount of TVs, right? So of course I'll be running multiple PCs to make this work. So of course I would have, you know, one in the front, 2 on the side, so just like this. And then I would probably,
You'll probably need one at the top.
yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I would need one at top and then one behind me, so I could pretty much have a 360 view inside the shell. Like, that's the kind of crazy thought that I would do. Like, I would do something like that, so I can see exactly everything. Still looking into the B-17. Man, if you get that B-17, that'll be epic. That would be epic. I want to see you get that. We got to get that Meridian up and running, man.
Okay, what's your next waypoint?
It's saying 548. It's about to have me turning here in a second.
Okay, it looks like I started my turn before you.
Weird. Yeah, I'm well, it's showing the waypoint is like 7 miles away, but it got me turning here in about 30 seconds, if not less than that.
Yeah, because should be shooting you over that airport.
Yeah, it don't have me going all the way to the waypoint. I see the landing strip down there, or the airport, but it's got me turning beforehand. You scratched the Meridian Oh, Larry, come on. You've had that thing for how? That was supposed to be the one. Alright, it's about to make my turn now.
Okay, so I took you all the way down to the airport.
Just
Right.
about. Just right before it. So when you said scratch, do you mean like you sold it? Or you just saying you just not about to do nothing with it? Well, at least we'll get back to the starting point a lot faster there, Jack. 34 knot
Alright.
tailwind. We about to be smoking. Private jet is gonna have to be the 757. Wait, you mean the private jet as far as like what you want me to build, or that's what you getting? I'm not. If I were to build an airliner, I don't know. I guess I'm different, right? Because first of all, everybody and their mama have already built the 737, right? Everybody has already built the A320, A321. You've seen them a million times. And what amazes me is how, I mean, don't get me wrong, I give props where props is due. If your sim looks nice, I'm going to give you the thumbs up. I'm going to commend you on your build, right? But at some point, it's like, I want to see something different. So if I were to build an airliner, I'm probably going to go with one of my favorites. And I know it's going to be hard because there's not a lot of parts for it, so I'm going to probably have to build it from scratch, which I don't have a problem doing that. And that would probably end up being like the MD-11. That's one of my favorite airliners. Or cargos, however you want to look at it. And then I would probably set myself up with a virtual airliner like FedEx or UPS and just do long, intercontinental flights.
Yeah, Larry, same thought process I got, man. I want to do multiple planes.
Well, Larry has multiple projects. If only you knew how many sims this man has. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's an addiction. Once you start, you can't stop.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm kind of glad right now I'm very limited to space, because Lord knows if I had more space, I would have already built me another one. Yeah, Amir, that, like I said, that's just how I am. I don't want to build nothing that somebody else has. I like to go against the grain and venture out into unknown territory. Now I know there's been a few guys that's conquered the 747. I tried it years ago on FSX. I'll never try to attempt to build that thing again. That is just... The Queen of the Skies got way, way too much going on, man. Which, I mean...
Like 200 or 400?
Well, the 4.7 sim that was my first actual build was based off the 400, the PMDG version. When PMDG dropped the 747 back in, I don't know, what was it, 2009, 2010, something like that. Yeah, I went straight into that. I don't know what I was thinking when I did that. Well, yeah, so, I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's only been a few people to conquer the 4.7 because, parts are limited. So most of it have to be from scratch, or you would have to try to buy parts and then convert them, but now you're knee deep already, you know. Now, what company was it? There was a company that used to sell 4.7 parts. I can't remember, but I think they went out of business years ago. I can't think of them at the moment, but I don't even think that you can even get any of their stuff at this point. So yeah, it would probably be an MD-11 if I were to do an airliner. And like I said, as far as like the private jet style, it would, you know, either a Lear or a Citation. It would be nice if we could get a hold of some G5, G6, G7 files, but you know, the company, they're not about to release none of that to Flight Sim. So I think that was talked about in a few forums, because you know a lot of people wanted to fly it, but I guess Gulfstream was like, nah, I don't want to release that information to the world. Which I'm like, I mean, I get it, you're a Gulfstream, but
for all the current and future flight simmers that will become millionaires and billionaires and on their own plans, they should just snub Gulfstream just for that.
Exactly. I don't know why Gulfstream is so anal about the, like, I get it, you're a Gulfstream, but it's not like you're using anything, you know, that's classified, you know what I'm saying? And you're going to get paid for it. I mean, it's not like Microsoft or whatever company's going to decide to pick them up is not going to, you know, compensate you for the information. Like, I even heard people trying to make their versions, you know, like a generic version, and I've heard Gulfstream come after them. Like, come on. The most difficult part of the 4.7 is the overhead in the MCP. Well, now, with today's technology, that MCP will be, well, the overhead and the MCP will be manageable. If you know what you're doing. I'm building a Lego plane while listening to this, and hearing about these aircraft is interesting. Cessna sent me stuff for a 340 sim when I was in high school. What? That's crazy. Where somebody send me stuff for a sim? Well, I have.
Yeah, some for parts now can probably even.
Yeah, I think building a 4.7 now, I mean, I think it's still going to be a challenge, but I don't think it's going to be as difficult as it was, like, let's say 10, 15 years ago. It's still not as, you know, the parts aren't there like a 3.7 or A321 or something like that, you know, because those are the two most popular aircraft. So of course most flight sim companies have, you know, ventured into that territory for the last few years. So of course those are dime a dozen, and I think that's why I'm just like, I'm kind of tired of looking at them.
Yeah, if I was gonna build one, it would be some either the 787, 777, A350, or A380.
That's nice. Now, if I were to go Airbus, it would have to probably be the A340. I like the A340.
Yeah, but I'm a screens guy, so A350 and A380 speaks to me.
I gotcha. I mean, those are both beautiful aircraft, but man, the 380, that's a big boy. God almighty.
The funny thing is, I'm not saying this from any experience or whatever, but just with flying fly-by-wires version, it doesn't feel big. And from what other like people who are actually flying it, like in that comment on the discords or whatever, and they're saying like it actually doesn't feel like a large aircraft.
That's because of fly-by-wire.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the beauty of it. I mean, you know, everything is mechanical, or yeah.
Man, you can imagine trying to control the A380 with
Like
the cables.
Boeing style. Do you understand how strong you gotta be?
Bruh,
Like just
that's
imagine
insane.
trying to come in on a like a Cat 3. Well, even if you flying Cat 3, it'd be autopilot pretty much. Well, let's say you're coming into the old Kaitak, right? The old GS13 approach with an A380. Oh my good, and you're talking cables. Nah, don't put me on that flight.
Imagine even trying to get that crap out of a stall. Like,
There.
what?
Oh my, that would be insane. I mean, but the crazy thing is the amount of wing surface that thing has. I'm pretty sure its stall speed is well below, you know, the average aircraft. It has to be. I'm gonna look that up after this flight. Anybody in the chat knows the stall speed on the A380?
130 or 150.
130 or 150?
Yeah.
That's pretty slow for an aircraft of that magnitude. Now I'm assuming that's empty. Because obviously.
I mean, the range, I think, could have come from wind. I mean, because at 150, you'd assume probably like max load, but then if you're at that stall speed and turning, your stall speed is also going to increase because you're not generating the same amount of lift when you're turning. So that can go up, depending on the conditions, that can go up. But for it to be at 130, that's twin engine speed, bro.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like that is crazy slow for an aircraft so big. If it's not a Boeing, I'm not going. An Airbus will take the pilot right out of you. Well, that's coming from an Airbus pilot. I think that's another thing that I really don't. I guess when it comes to, I guess growing up with Boeing, you know, just being around Boeing, I never really paid attention to Airbus. I didn't even know Airbuses were even a thing. You know, all I knew was, you know, 737, you know, 47s, 57s, 777s. And when I finally found out what a Airbus was and I saw the inside, I'm like, there's nothing but a big video game. Like, you're not even flying. Yo, 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 Jose in the building. How goes it, my man? I mean, the Airbus gives you a dinner tray. That's some Air Force stuff right there. Even though we don't have it in our aircraft, but you know, you get what I'm saying. Like literally, you're a little joystick. Yo, Captain, how goes it? 22 miles out. I'm gonna start a slow descent. Probably about. Let's go down to. Let's get you down to about 1,500 and say about 300 feet a minute. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Up to 2. Yeah, you got to get back in the air. What's taking so long? I don't, like, for me, a Boeing, it is nothing more soothing to me to sit in, like, if I was a pilot, why are you, hey, what you doing? You messing up my stream. Oh, because my mouse was on the seat vibrating. Like, when I envision an airliner, right, I want to, like, the yoke of a Boeing. Like, that is what I envision flying an airliner. Not a joystick.
Well, man, gotta get with the times. That's old school, bro.
No, man. Like, it's. But I mean,
That's old school.
okay. All right. I tell you what. Jose. That even with the let's talk, because you said you flew the 737 Max, right? Now, obviously, Airbus is still fly-by-wire, so of course it's still gonna be easier. But even with the 37 Max, it's a lot better than, let's say, you know, an old 200 or something like that. Which, I mean, I guess most of that is really just avionics based. You know, you're going from steam gauges to glass cockpit. But I'm also assuming too that a 737 Max, the mechanical side is a lot better as well. Rear facing flight attendant jump seat. Way too different to fly a 200 to a Max. Yeah, I mean, that's like flying an F-14 and a, I don't know, a F-22.
We're doing 26 for landing.
Copy on 26. All right, so would you rather? So I'm asking the real pilots in the channel. Would you rather take an Airbus into Kai-Tak, or would you rather take a 37 into Kai-Tak?
Airbus all day.
Well, I know you would do that, Jack. But it takes the fun out of it, man.
No, it doesn't. You can still manually fly the Airbus.
I mean, just imagine bringing in a 4.7 on the GS13.
Yeah, but well, depends on but at least the 74-8, that's soft fly-by-wire now, so.
Well, they didn't have Dash 8 when Kai-Tak was open.
True.
So we had to go based off what, the 400?
The 2.
I'm pretty well. No, I think the 400 was. Yeah. Jose says 3.7. The 200 is a real plane where you actually command the aircraft on the Max. All computers. So
yeah, 200 was the real deal.
So the two pilots says 3.7 over the Airbus and the Kai-Tak all day. That doesn't make you change your mind, Jack?
Oh no.
Alright, autopilot is coming off. Let's get these lights off.
I embrace technology.
I mean, I totally understand, you know, evolving with evolution. But then some things I just feel like, you know, it is what it is, you know, like.
You know what this is? It's the same conversation between stick shift versus automatic, or if you're into photography, the old film cameras versus digital cameras argument. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to that, you know, it's really personal preference. I mean, because if you're talking, you know, if you're talking manual versus automatic, I think it just depends on the scenario. Like, just everyday driving, give me an automatic. But if we're talking, you know, need for speed type stuff, give me a manual. It's just like
at this point though, the technology with automatic is comparable to stick.
True, but then automatic you lose features that a manual will always be. Like, for instance, if you're automatic, if you're
ruining your clutch.
well, that's because you suck at driving a manual. Let's say your battery goes dead and it's early in the morning and you can't get to AutoZone to get a battery. Hey, guess what? You pop the clutch and you keep it pressing. An automatic, you're done. You just ain't got no power. Your Bonanza has more stuff than a 200. Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice crosswind for you.
Oh, we're doing crosswinds. I was about to bring it back around. All right, I'll get the crosswind. I'll bring it around. All right, speed checks gear is coming down. That was the one thing I've always debated, that I had a love-hate relationship with an automatic 18-wheeler. I started off driving manuals, and then speed checks first, notch flaps. All right, gear is down and locked. We have flaps. Sky flaps are open.
Yeah, that was sacrilege to me. The first time I saw automatic 18-wheeler.
And you know what's crazy is the only reason why the only reason why I like an automatic is when it comes to being in traffic jams and stuff like that, because your leg get tired of pushing that clutch in and out. So having an automatic is kind of beautiful, but outside of that, I give me a manual, because man, you mess around and a sensor or something go out and you're 80,000 pounds coming down on the other side of a pass, man, that's a disaster waiting to happen. With a manual, you are in charge of the truck. That automatic, all you doing is just keeping it in one lane. Victor Hotel X-ray, Larry.
500.
Now, depending on the sim that you're running, I think you still running X-Plane, so I don't even, like, I know 2020 they brought it back to life. In FSX, you had to download the add-on scenery for it, because, you know, they dismantled it when they built the new International, which is Victor Hotel. This crosswind is crazy, and I'm coming in fast too.
Get that crab going.
Oh, it's bouncing me all over the place. Let's see if I can get it done.
Wobble, baby, wobble.
Ooh. Boom.
Alright, you survived. That's good.
I saved it.
Yeah, Kai-Tak was like, funny enough, like, I haven't even tried it, because like, even trying to get the charge now, it's pretty difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I've done it a couple times in the sim. It's still a fun approach, man. Nonetheless, I've done it plenty of times in the V. Have you ever walked into a C-17 before Yeah, plane. Not only have I walked into it, I've flown in it. I've flown in it in the cargo area, and I've flown in the flight deck area. Pretty much most of all the military aircraft outside of fighters I've been in. So all cargos, I've been in all those. B1s, I worked on them, so I've been up and down that one. A buff, I've been up inside of a buff before. What else? KC-10s, you know, KC-135s, all of our tankers. Matter of fact, I was able to get into a incentive flight in a tanker when I was in Guam. We was doing some show of force flights or missions out there out in the Pacific, and I got to go up in a tanker and watch them fuel up a B1, and that was a pretty cool adventure, I must say. What is as far as going up in the C-17, or are you talking about as far as going up with the tanker to refuel? Why is this guy parked at the pump? Like, get out of the way. This is for us to... I could talk about it. I mean, honestly, it's really nothing too crazy. So, the first time I went down to South Africa, we did a 30-day training mission down there with the South African Air Force down in Pretoria, and we took three 130s down, but we took a C-17 down with all of our age equipment, and so I ended up flying with the 17 with the age guy to babysit all the age equipment all the way down. And so once the crew on the 17 got wind that I was a crew chief on the 130s, and I was a flying crew chief at that, you know, that kind of gave me an all-access pass to move about the aircraft as I see fit. And so I spent most of my time up in the flight deck hanging out with the crew and just, you know, talking aircraft stuff. That's pretty much it. I mean, it's you know, a C-17 is like a big jet, man. Like, I don't know if you ever seen, but they don't have, you know, your typical yokes. They literally have like fighter sticks, just like the B1s. It's crazy. And when I tell you that,
well, what do you think about that? Yeah, that's weird to me, but I still like it.
I mean, it is weird. I don't really care for it, but I will say the Globe Master, that she's a beast, man. And when I say that thing can yank and bank, I remember we was when we was in the desert, and one of our birds, well, actually it wasn't ours, it was another C-17 had went off the runway. It was a bad storm that night, and at the time I was AR, and so, you know, that's aero recovery, so we was in charge of any aircraft, any accidents or anything like that. We're in charge of getting it off the ground or getting it, you know, jacked up to get it off the air or whatever the case may be. So we had one go off the runway in one of the not so friendly places, and they called us. They was like, we need a team now. So we got me, and there was like 5 of us. We grabbed all our gear, we loaded up on another C-17, and as we was getting ready for the approach, the crew team on that bird was like, make sure you are strapped in, tight, because we have to do how do they call it? It's kind of like, it's a combat descent is what they call it, right? So and I'm just making these numbers up because can't quite remember, exactly how high we were or whatever. But in other words, we're literally going to come in over top of the airfield, and we're going to do I'm talking yank and bank tornado dive all the way down until we touch down. So just imagine, let's say, being, 10,000, 8,000 feet or whatever the case may be, and this joker just yanks 30 degrees to the left, and it hangs 30 degrees all the way down in a spiraling rotation until you hit the ground. Yeah, you talk about if your stomach can't handle something like that, you need not be a part of the Air Force. Cause, whoo, man, it was something scary. But you got to do that because you're in enemy lines and all that good stuff. So there's the story for the C-17s, I guess you can say. C-5s, it's just a big blob of metal that can move a lot of weight very far. That's really about it. I don't understand how that big behemoth gets in the air, but it does. And you always know when she's really, really heavy because them motors be screaming. And it looked like she's not going nowhere. It's like she's gonna stall. I mean, but I think the gross payload of a C5 is like over 1 million pounds. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, because now that the antennas are the commission, I think the C5 is now the largest plane flying.
Yeah, that thing is huge, man. What, 255 feet wingspan? And then you got the C5Ms now, so I know them ACs is loving that one. So that's the story of the C-17. I have more, but that'll be it for tonight, I guess you can say. Tactical descent. There you go. I knew it was something. I couldn't remember. It's been a while. I've been out the game for, 13 years? So I've kind of lost touch with a few of the acronyms for things. But nonetheless, that's what it was. And it was fun yet scary because the whole time we're going into this crazy spin down. All 4 reversers deployed in flight. Yeah. I also had to think about this isn't practice anymore. Like, this is what we've trained for the last however many years. Like, this is the real deal. So knowing that when this plane hit the ground, we got work to do. And the work is to get this plane that's done ran off the runway out of the mud, as heavy as it is, get it straightened out so this thing can get back off the ground, or at least out of harm's way to a degree, while being in harm's way. So sometimes situations were stressful, and I mean that's just one of many scenarios that I've encountered while I was in the military. Like I said, it wasn't always peaches and cream. I know I talk a lot about traveling the world and seeing this and seeing that, but there was some other times where I was just, is this it? So, but I'm here. I made it. Would I go back? Never. I've done my time. Let somebody else do that mess. But it was fun though. Now the tanker, watching the B1 Like, so when you sit down, like, so like the guy lays down to operate the boom, right? And so it's not a lot of space once you get back there, but he or she or whoever operating the boom at the time, there's another little small area, and if you're small enough, you can kind of crawl in that little corner. And so you're looking out the window at, I don't know, 28,000 feet, right? And we're just kind of going around in circles waiting for the B1 to, you know, get itself set up, and then finally we'll kind of straighten out. And what was crazy was I'm out here looking, and the guy is like, all right, if you look over there, you'll see the B1. And no sooner than I looked down, I mean, he was screaming. I was like, that's cool. And then all of a sudden, like, he disappeared out of my scope. And then probably about 2 or 3 minutes later, he told me to look straight up, and you can literally see the B1 slowly pulling himself up. And then you saw him connecting to the boom. And they're just hanging out, and they just dumping fuel. And then it was done, and you literally watched him disconnect, and then he just kind of rolled on out the way like a fighter, and that was it. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. But I'm gonna save some more stories, military stories, for another time. That's all you're getting from me tonight. Let me shut my plane down. I'm sitting here wasting fuel. Alright, so after landing checks, cowl flaps are open, flaps are up, transponder, never turned it on. Avionics is coming off. Electrical equipment is, we'll leave beacon on for, no, we can turn that all off, right? Does beacon light stay on till right before you? Beacon light's supposed to stay on till after engine shutdown, correct? I think so. But everything else is off. No, you didn't.
Alright, that's off. Yeah, beacons come off after you shut the engine down.
Okay, that's what I figured. All right, make sure coming out. Not really, Sess. It's just me and Jack hanging out tonight. Just a quick little flight in Kenya. Okay. Beacon light is off. Let's go ahead and turn these guys off. Turn that off. Travis, where have you been? Where have you been, sir? How did you miss your own flight? I got you, man. I'm just teasing. We can always do it again. Hey, why is it so windy out here, man? We was getting 30 plus knot headwinds all the way up. But, I mean, it was a beautiful flight coming back, though. And then, of course, Jack Sparrow wanted us to do a crosswind, which I saved the mess out of that. I just knew I was going to dump it. I'm getting better at my cross.
Sometimes you gotta challenge yourself. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely like practicing crosswinds, because it's definitely, it really has your brain thinking. Like, you really have to know your aircraft, because if you don't, you are not going to survive a crosswind landing if you don't know your aircraft. That's what I figured. The ocean winds coming off. No worries, Sess. No worries at all, my friend. This was kind of a more short, chill flight. Yeah, I mean, you know, landing on clear blue sky days, you know, those are It's cool, you know. It's good eye candy, especially if if you butter it. But if you're constantly flying in good weather all the time, what are you learning? Until next time, Sess. Good day, mate. Or should I say, good night? Good night. How do you say it in Australia? How do y'all say good night in Australia? Is it the same way? Good night? Or is it good night? But like with the night? I don't know. Y'all have, cause y'all be having special acronyms and
Alright, just take it easy, man.
they just take it easy.
I don't know what they do in Australia.
Nah, I don't either. That's all right. All right. Well, have a good one, plane. I appreciate it, man. I will continue to do as such. Travis, I guess I don't know. If you have something else, or I'll create another flight plan around here. I spent a lot of time on this side of the world. So, all right, Larry, have a good one, my man. Appreciate you popping in and hanging out with me tonight. I could probably set up something later on, and I guess you just let me know when you're ready for that, and I'll make sure that I'll leave that run when you're available, and we'll just do other things until then. All right, cool. Well, I'll work on that sometime. That's all I got for y'all. I enjoyed the company and the conversation tonight. Thank you all for hanging out with me, and we'll see what goes on tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get up tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday night, so but I got another video that I gotta push out. I might try to push that out tonight. We'll see. That's it. I think I'm gonna shut it down. Get myself into some trouble. So I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight, Jack. It was fun as always.
No worries. Catch you later.
Later, my boy. All right, y'all. This is Robbie with Cardboard Sim, and I'm signing out.